Life is unpredictable, but how you prepare for the unexpected shouldn't be. Take ownership of your life planning with Policy Genius to help your loved ones have a financial safety net in case something happens to you. Whether to cover debts and routine expenses or even invest the money and earn interest over time. With Policy Genius, finding and buying life insurance is simple. You can compare quotes from top insurers and could find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. Plus, they offer life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. It's an easy way to feel good about and plan for the future. No wonder Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. Don't wait for life to make other plans. Protect your family today. Head to policygenius.com to compare top-rated life insurance policies, get your lowest quote, and make a smart move in under 10 minutes. That's policygenius.com.
With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Draft on Draft podcast. I'm your host, Dalton Miller, joined, as always, by my co-host, Corey Kennan. You may have noticed I'm not quite as loud or rambunctious today as I normally am. It's because my son is sleeping in the very next room. Had a little bit of a change up. I'm not on the casting couch right now. I'm in the spare bedroom. Parents came down today, so they are in the living room right now, in their living room, which they own. So it's definitely good for them. But we were going to talk about running backs, and we are going to talk about maybe a running back, the only one, I believe, in Dane's top 50. But whenever Mr. Brugler drops literally anything, we drop whatever we are doing, and we talk about it, which is perfect because we didn't want to talk about these running backs anyways. Corey, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm glad we're doing this. And if we needed any other validation for not watching anymore or talking about any more running backs, again, one in his top 50 is probably that validation.
And I think the biggest thing...
It's whack that not even Singleton made his top 50.
Yeah, so, yeah. When it comes to the top 50, I think what this top 50 proves, I think more than anything, is that we're just looking at another underwhelming class overall, it seems. Because, I mean, we're going to talk about it. I think there's legitimately some bad football players on this top 50. And I understand why they are where they are in the rankings for the most part, or being in the top 50, that is. But there, I think, is a lot of hopium going on with the top 50, which, like we talk about over the summer, is perfectly fine because we don't have to evaluate these guys to draft them in September. We are waiting until April after they have a whole other college football season. So let's just get into it, man. Where do we want to start?
Let's start with the quarterbacks. I mean, I feel like
so many of them.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in his top 50.
But you know what? You know what? I want to point out there are 7 in his top 50, and that seems ridiculous, especially for a quarterback class that we've already talked about that we don't like. But there is a lot of physical traits going on in this class that you can squint and hope and pray for. The one thing is our guy is not in this top 50, and that would be Michigan State's Aiden Childs.
Yeah. He had Aiden Childs like QB 9 of underclassmen, and I get it based off of turnover numbers, and he's 19, so not a lot of like deep analysis being put into Aiden Childs at this point. So I kind of understand it. So going through that, we got Arch at 2 overall, Sellers at 7 overall, Nussmeier at 10 overall, Mendoza at 20, Allard 27, Klubnik 30, Levitt 46. So I think my major pushbacks here would be Nuss at 10. and then Klubnik below Aller.
The NFL is gonna. I think the NFL is gonna love Nuss.
I mean, if they would have loved Nuss, then why didn't he get feedback to declare last year?
Well, I mean, in the write up, Dane says that he was probably going to be QB2 last year. So,
I mean,
and he's more plugged in than we are.
yeah. Have you watched the SEC documentary on Netflix yet?
No, not yet.
There's a scene in that where him and Brian Kelly and his agent are all talking, and Nussmeier's like clearly very distraught that he's not going to declare. Like he's like you could tell he really wanted to declare, and
Yeah,
he didn't get the feedback that he wanted.
It's interesting because he's a coach's son, and there's a lot of like Tony Romo, Baker Mayfield in his game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having that in his game plus being Doug's son is going to put him places at the NFL level. Now, the great hope here is that guys like Sellers, guys like Mendoza, Klubnik really ball out this year with higher athletic ceilings, with better arms, with just more tools overall, and are able to elevate their draft stock over somebody like Nuss, who might be a little bit safer at the NFL level. Like you can definitely see the projection with him, but what is the ceiling with him, man? Because unless he really, really irons everything out, like that's the thing that we talk about with quarterbacks is like the margin for error with him is very tight because he doesn't have those physical tools to bail him out. So, yeah, man.
And that's why I'm a little more mum. I'm a little more mum on like people want to praise his pocket skills, and I think he's fine when he's clean and on time. But like, I still think his feet get a little whack when he's forced to get his eyes backside or when he's starting to feel a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's just really tough to hate on him too much when you watch somebody like him and then you watch somebody like, well, most of the rest of the class. I mean, Drew Aller will fade away from completely clean pockets.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like Nuss more than I like Aller.
Yeah, and then there's Levitt, who is a psychopath back there. So like, this is what we're kind of dealing with. So I think that might elevate Nuss a little bit more, anyways. But yeah, 7 quarterbacks, and obviously it's understandable that Arch would be at the very top there. I think I would still personally, just based from what I've seen from both of them, I would still probably bet on Sellers right now. I think after this year, that tone is going to change. Just because I believe in the insulation that Arch is going to have and the physical talent that he is and the family that he is coming from. And I mean, he was groomed for this position. And he flashed some crazy traits. Body type scares me. His athleticism with that body type scares me because he's going to get hit. He's going to take shots. And he is not 240 pounds.
Yeah. Did you hear him say, like, when him and his grandpa talk on the phone, what his grandpa says to him, the last thing that his grandpa says to him every time he gets off the phone with him?
No. What is that?
He said every time we end our calls, my grandpa, Archie Manning, always says, "Get down or go out of bounds." It's like the last thing he says to him every single time they talk.
Yeah, it's not I love you. It's save your body, brother.
Get down and go out of bounds. I love the Mendoza QB4 hype here. I mean, obviously, I'm probably the biggest Mendoza guy out there. But like he's a top 20 prospect for Dane, which means the NFL love him. And I got some feedback from a scout this week as well that like Midwest scouts are they're about Mendoza. So we're gonna hear a lot more about Mendoza, and I'm glad I got that piece out the Monday after the draft the way that I did. Again, I'd have Mendoza at QB1 because I wouldn't have Arch on a list right now, obviously, but. This class, I would still have Mendoza, probably a top 10 prospect, but closer to 10 than to 5. The Klubnik or Aller over Klubnik thing is the thing where I would probably push back quite a bit. But again, like based on summer grades, like both Blesto and NFS have not been kind to Cade Klubnik.
No.
So, but I mean, NFS wasn't kind to Drew Aller either. NFS gave Aller a 3rd round grade too. So like, yeah. Yeah. And then I like personally probably wouldn't have put a 19-year-old who has 1 year starting experience on a top 50 or this early. I mean, I don't have Levitt graded out that high either to be a top 50 player, but he is like, I think like QB6, QB7, somewhere right around there. So like same range, same tierish that I would have him. All right, let's get into some players where we might disagree with Dane a little bit. And I'm going to start at 13 with Xavier Chaplin. So we did offensive tackles last week. Chaplin is big and long and strong. He is way too bad of a mover, I think, for me to put him that high. 13.
You know what that is? Power and 36-inch arms.
Yeah. Understandable. And again, he has a really high Blesto grade, so there's a little bit of that feedback probably in there too, mixed in. But again, I dropped my offensive tackle rankings today, and I have Chaplin offensive tackle 8, just because I really value movement skills, man. I really value movement skills, and that's not something I saw. And another thing where I've missed on offensive tackles is like bad bases and bad balance. His base is pretty rough. How close his feet can get in his base as well. So I'd probably push back a little bit there. And I know we talked about corners too. Avion Terrell, you've had some thoughts on Avion Terrell, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Terrell, man, is I kept waiting for something to stand out. And for me, nothing about Terrell ever stood out to me. And so, like, I kept thinking, like, where is this insane trait that is going to make me really love him? And it just wasn't ever really there.
So, yeah, my thing is, oh, go ahead.
Like his brother's a fantastic zone coverage corner, and I think that Terrell's eyes are pretty good in zone coverage as well. But like underwhelming physicality at the catch point, quite grabby along the stem at the top of the routes when he's playing with man leverage. Like for me, I really like that confidence, that overconfidence in man coverage, and I didn't see that from him. And so for me, like I love the eyes in zone, the ability to cut off backside post in cover 3 looks, but like again, there's not a lot of crazy versatility in that Clemson defense either. So for me, I wanted to see dominance, and I didn't see dominance the way I wanted to.
For me, this is like Terrell's upside is this high.
Kind of how I feel too.
Because like when I watched Terrell, dude, he's got
fast.
His transitional burst is some of the best that I've seen in a couple of years. His long speed explosiveness is way out there. He's twitched up too, dude. His change of direction, his trigger is awesome. But my biggest issue with Terrell is that I don't think he's very confident with his eyes, and I don't think he's a very confident tackler. And I don't think he's a very confident player at maybe the position you need the most supreme confidence at. And so, like, I always think he's playing behind the 8 ball a little bit behind that. But to me, this is his upside, is to be a top 15 player in this class, because like every physical tool that a corner needs, he's got them out the wazoo. But it is that level of confidence that kind of pushes me off a little bit. But right after him, and I love this one. Again, it's a summer scouting like upside dart shot here with Kenyon Sadiq at 17, dude. But there are few funner players on limited reps than Kenyon Sadiq from a year ago. And now again, Oregon with we've talked about it a million times with the Evan Stewart injury. Their best wide receiver is a true freshman. And so he's going to be one of their primary pass catchers. And so the opportunity is going to be there. And so like, I mean, Sadiq's got a great body type. His lower half is dense. Like he's a quad father. Like he's got the body type. He's got the explosiveness. He's got the skill set. Now it's all about snap count and targets and production for Sadiq, and I think he's going to be insulated to do it. And so I kind of love this upside shot with Sadiq here.
And what about the next one?
Yeah, well, we should mention that we both love Max Clare. He has Max Clare at 37. Right now, I have Max Clare tied in 1, but I understand the upside shot with Sadiq. Yeah, the next one, though, another Oregon guy, Mateo Uiagalelei at 18. I don't know if there's a player that I have a bigger discrepancy from consensus than Mateo Uiagalelei, man. Like, every big-time analyst has this guy ranked really high, and I did not see a softer 270-pound player on tape than Mateo Uiagalelei all summer, just like flat out. I even went back because I was watching J.C. Davis the other day, offensive tackle from Illinois, left tackle from Illinois. And I watched the Oregon game, and I was like, "Damn! Like Davis has some pretty good tape against Oregon." He's bodying Mateo Uyunglele, like snap in and snap
Davis
out.
ain't a bad
And
player. I just want to point that out.
he's like I
Davis
put him
ain't
at
a bad
OT
player.
10. He's got some
No,
tools.
he ain't a
He's
bad player.
clunky and he's tall and he plays high, but like he's got some tools there, and he's strong as a super strong. But yeah, man, I have a huge disconnect with Uyunglele. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but like I do not see it.
No, it's not you. I think that he plays. When I watched him, I thought that he played like a softer Landon Jackson, like a 270-pound dude who legitimately has bend. Like the athletic traits are there. He's not super duper explosive, and that shows. And he plays really tall. So like Landon Jackson, like everybody, he was listed at 6'7", and he played probably closer to 6'7" sometimes than he did 6'5", what he was listed at, especially when he was moved into the interior. But like 270 pounds with ankle flexion, with hip fluidity, like that's what these guys have. The problem
But
is
he's not explosive.
But that's exactly it. The problem is he is not as explosive. He's not even as explosive as Landon Jackson, in my opinion. And he can't, like, Jackson won on the outside so consistently, and that's what I really liked about him, even though he wasn't super explosive. You're not getting that with Uyunglele. It's just not there. Not at 18 for me. Especially when you have a guy like, we're bringing him up next, Sonny Styles at 24. I'm drafting him and CJ over a guy like Mateo every single day.
Yep. Easy money. It's a fun linebacker class. There's some fun linebackers in this class. For sure. So, yeah, Sonny Styles 24. I wanted to talk about him because we had a run on our guys there. Sonny Styles at 24. Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville, 25. Dane's wide receiver 2. My wide receiver 2. Love to see that, man.
I also thought it was funny in the write-up for hold up, and can I just bring up the fact real quick that Jeremiah Love was a 6th ranked player, and that's way too low.
Yes.
That's way too low.
I think he's like 3 for me.
Is that
4 for me, somewhere around there.
Is that the running back tax? Is that what that is?
Might be a little bit.
And then he has Jermon McCoy as CB1. But it says were he healthy, McCoy would have been CB1 in the preseason rankings, but he is number 1 in the preseason rankings, apparently.
Yeah.
For you.
That's pretty funny.
Maybe he meant
McCoy's
maybe he meant DB1.
Or overall 1. He could have meant
maybe
DB1, overall 1.
A lot of things. Yeah, that was definitely
Peter Woods is a pretty easy overall 1 though.
Yeah, that was an editing mistake there, in my opinion.
Every time I watch a game where it's like I'm trying to watch an offensive player against Clemson, it's like
it's Peter Woods.
Why is Peter Woods in the backfield every play?
Well, Peter Woods is in the what makes him so noticeable is he's absolutely dominant in NCAA 25. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, he's also like, do you know he's slimmed down because he's only preparing to play 3-tech instead of like 3-1-5.
Yeah.
Like he's only playing 3-tech this year too. So
yeah,
good luck. Good luck blocking that. All right. Caleb Banks at 19. That's another one of my guys. I love Caleb Banks. Connor Lew, 21. Another one of my guys. Oh, yeah.
Anthony Hill at 33. We just need to talk about it. And Dane brought it up. So I did want to point out the fact that there are question marks around it. We'll go back to David Bailey then, because it wasn't on our notes, but we will go back to that.
Yeah.
But it says scouts are saying he's not a slam dunk first round pick. This is about Hill. Traits are good, but wouldn't call any of the traits outstanding. I think he's got good speed.
He's stiff
and he's got good size, but he is stiff as a board, and he is slow.
And he can't backpedal.
So, like, what am I going to do with that?
It's like Kenneth Murray again.
Yes.
It's Kenneth Murray again. And Kenneth Murray went in the first round, but like, and Kenneth Murray's still playing, so like good for him, but like he didn't get a big second contract. He's bouncing around on 1-year deals. The Chargers traded him, I think.
Yeah.
No, did they trade him? They didn't pick him as fifth. He might have just walked after 4 years, but yeah. It's like Kenneth Murray.
Well, he's with Dallas now, and he's not going to make the team most likely.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So,
all right, stick with Texas though. Oh no, we want to go back to David Bailey.
Let's go back to David Bailey.
29.
Gross. It's gross. It's Mike Green, but I don't think he's nearly as fun as that Mike Green versus Ohio State tape. I didn't see anything with Bailey that was anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's definitely not a 3-down player. Not right now, at least. There's a reason he wasn't.
Yeah. Apparently, he's going to be an every down player at Texas Tech, from what I've been told.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean,
see how that goes.
He's flat out unplayable against the run on the Stanford tape, and they flat out didn't play him against the run. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I will say though, like, are there 3 more explosive players in this year's draft class than him? 5 more? I'll be a little more liberal. Is there 5 more?
Yeah. I mean, in the whole class, yes. At edge, no.
You think in the whole class still?
Yeah. Of course. He's still pass rush.
He's pretty explosive, dude.
He's not that explosive. Every single wide receiver at LSU was more explosive.
Like relatively?
Well, you didn't say relatively.
Okay.
You said more explosive.
That's fine.
Like you
no
didn't
LSU
say
wide
for
receivers
the
can
position.
Speed to power.
You didn't say for the position.
That's fine.
For the position, I think so. Yeah.
Trevor Goosby, 38. So
I'm fine with.
We have
ranking.
to caveat this.
Yeah.
Dane dropped his offensive tackle rating like 2 weeks ago, and Goosby was very low. 2 weeks later, Goosby's very high, and Dane does try to clarify it a little bit. That still like leaves me wondering a little bit about that. The Goosby at 38 is probably about where I've got him though. Like I know you're like outlandishly high on him. I do see a little stiffness, a little high pad level, lack of knee bend, kind of that kind of stuff. The same thing that Dane saw. He's a great athlete, but I'm probably in that same range. Maybe I'll probably come in a little bit higher, but like in that same tier-ish probably. So I think 38's appropriate-ish. I have a high third, like fringe top 64 pick-ish. But again, he plays offensive tackle, and as we always say, there aren't 64 good offensive tackles in the NFL. So like give him a half-round boost. Yeah, I think that feels appropriate to me. It's probably still too low for you.
Oh, I mean, it's way too low for me, but I'm literally just betting. I'm just betting on what I saw against some of the best competition being thrown to the wolves and dominating in that. So for me, I'm also much less beholden to the traits at offensive tackle. I just want to see guys win. And it can be ugly, and I can make excuses for how ugly it is. And it's worked out okay for me for the most part. That's just kind of the way that I feel about that position. I think the biggest thing that I don't want to do is just throw everything to the wayside for the traits. I think is my biggest thing, because I've early on got burnt quite a bit by athletic Pac-12 linebackers. Athletic Pac-12 linebackers are great, but Pac-12 offensive tackles who are softer than Sharman and ended up not being anything at the NFL level.
Yep, I get it. I say that as I have my top ranked offensive tackle as a Pac-12 offensive. Well, I guess it's Big 12 now, but formerly Pac-12 offensive tackle.
And he reminds me of a Pac-12 offensive tackle a little bit.
Yeah. All right, next one, Jude Bowery, man. This is another disconnect. that we both have. I was a little bit higher on Bowery than you, but I still was like this is a mid day 3 guy, and you were like, this guy's a UDFA. I wouldn't draft this guy. But I had like a 5th round grade on Bowery. I said like I felt like he was the color beige. I thought he was baseline and everything. Like every trait grading him down the board was like average grade, average grade, average grade, average grade. Which for me, average is like a mid 5th rounder, because when we're talking about the bell curve of NFL draft prospects, it's narrow at the first round grades. It's narrow in the PFA grades, and that bell curve kind of meets in that mid round range. So average for me is I have a 5th round grade on him. 48's high. On Jude Bowery.
Yeah, it is. Yep. No, I don't really have anything else to add to that one, to be honest with you.
Yep. Last one we got down here on our agenda here is Will Lee over AJ Harris in corner rankings here.
Yeah, I don't think that there was literally anybody that was a bigger Will Lee fan than I was at the start of his like rise last year.
Mm-hmm.
I love the attitude. Oh, he's my favorite player in this class, just simply for the attitude that he brings to the football field, to social media. He is a troll, and I love a defensive back that is a troll.
Yeah.
But where I don't care as much about athleticism and offensive tackle, you can't ignore it at corner. And he is an underwhelming athlete for the position. He's intelligent. He is confident. He is technically very good, but he is not very fast, and that is not good. And AJ Harris isn't.
He's not explosive either. Yeah.
But
AJ Harris has really good downhill instincts.
He's more explosive too.
Yeah. I like AJ Harris. I think he's really solid until you got to force him to turn and run as well. Like kind of that same. I guess so. They're kind of the same ish tier, I would say then. But no Keith Abney, man. He's got these 2 corners on there, but no Keith Abney.
Interesting there.
We know I love some Keith Abney too, but that's okay. All right, man. Any other of these guys on this list you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Shout out to Proctor for being number 3. I think he deserves the hype.
I like the DJ McKinney shout at 32 as well. I like DJ McKinney.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that progresses this year. I'm very interested in him. Ruben Bain at number 39, edge defensive lineman. I like that. Zion Young, high, but like in this class, there's just like not a lot to love. R. Mason Thomas at 44. So like interesting.
31-inch arms really hurts my soul with R. Mason Thomas. It hurts my soul.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Usually I care, but it all depends on if it really shows up on tape. And it does for him sometimes. But I don't think that's his game. So I don't think it matters as much. And like, again, I've brought it up before, but like Micah Parsons has 31-inch arms. That's
fair.
He's way more physical. Way more explosive. He's a freak, but
Micah Parsons' go-to move is like a hump move too. So like that's the ideal move for a guy with short arms. Get in and get out. Yeah. So, I get it. But yeah, I think that's it, man. Yeah. Dane, as always, man, solid work. I'm sure you're listening to this, but dude, we're gonna be back on our regular season cadence next week, man. We've got some. Well, Monday we'll probably have to do a 2-for-1 because we won't have enough games to talk about. But and we have Thursday games, so we might have to adjust midweek. But yeah, we're back into our regular season cadence, man. It feels good. Feels good. Does. And we're in the same time zone this year, so that should
have stuff to talk about all the time. It'll be nice.
I love it. All right, Dalton, you want to take us out of here?
I do, guys. As always, I love you. I don't have anything else to say. It's leg day tomorrow. Goodbye.